Hello guys, welcome back to my nail table. So I have something super exciting to show you guys. This thing is so pretty. I was not expecting this package at all. How cool and how cute and convenient that it comes in a nice storage case. So let's open this up. I'm not gonna lie, I probably should have opened it up first on camera because my reaction was, oh my goodness. Look how nice it is. Love this color. This like chrome. So I love that it comes in this little case that you can clip onto your pocket if you needed to, if you were truly mobile. This is really nice that it will set down on your desk. Lay this down on your desk to use. You're not scratching up your e-file. I really like that about this particular e-file. So you guys, they reached out to me, sent me this to review and show you guys. They also offered a $20 off coupon. It is also on sale right now for $179.99 on Amazon. You guys can actually save an additional $10 by clicking that box and then using my discount code at checkout to really get yourself a great deal. I'm going to show you guys this really awesome case. It comes packaged like this. You're going to get your operator or operation manual. This e-file goes up to 35,000 RPM. I just love this case. The handpiece holder, and then your excuse me, your drill stand right here. Okay guys, so you get a little bag of sanding bands, and actually, to be quite honest, I don't typically use any of the sanding bands that are sent with the e-files, just because if you have a gander at this right here, you can tell that this one automatically is trash. You're not going to be able to use that without it falling apart. See that? So I use zebra sanding bands, and I will link those down below if they're not already. These just feel really cheap, so I don't prefer to use these. I feel like they heat up and they fall apart just like this quickly. Okay, other than that, moving along. So you're gonna get your charger and your handpiece. Oh, look how pretty. I'm obsessed with that like pink to purple chrome look that it gives. This is nice. so pretty. And then you actually get a really nice set of bits here. You do not typically get a set of bits like this. You usually get those small package of extremely cheap ones that are definitely not my favorite. So here you have a coarse ceramic bit. This is a cone bit. This is going to be great for knocking off bulk, knocking off the length of your fingernail, removing any acrylic or gel. And then you have this really nice bit here. This is a diamond bit, and this will be great for cuticle work, getting into the sidewalls, cleaning up underneath your free edge. You have a cuticle bit here. This is a really nice bit as well for more cleaning of like your calloused areas on your finger and cleaning off the dead excess skin. And then we also have one of these little sandstone bits, which I think is really cool. So this is great for removing calluses too. If you've got some really thick ones right there, you can remove calluses. This will be great for my pedicure services. So we'll definitely see myself using this a lot for pedicures. But however, I am going to try to use the majority of these bits to show you guys exactly how they work and how well they work. So if you are interested in watching me fix these up, just keep watching. Okay, so I will be using my Melodysusie dust extractor. You guys know how much I love Melodysusie products. Their dust extractor is a must-have if you don't have anything to remove dust from your nasal way and your lungs. You definitely want to invest in a dust extractor. So we are going to move our handpiece over here to the unlock. You have a nice little arrow there to let you know that it is unlocked. Your handpiece will open up. We are going to start off by using our ceramic coarse bit to remove the majority of the bulk off of my nail. I'm going to move that back into the lock position. I will start off by using my Efile in the forward motion because I am right-handed, so I want the Efile to work with me and not against me. If I was going to be using my dominant hand, or my non-dominant hand to fix this hand, you would put it in reverse. So right-handed people use it in forwards, left-handed people would use it in reverse. So I am going to turn this up to about, I usually use mine at about 10,000 RPMs when I'm taking off bulk. So I'm going to try to zoom in for you guys. This is going to get loud for just a minute, but I'm going to show you how well it works. So 10,000 RPMs is just not quite enough for me to be taking off bulk, so I'm going to go to about 15. When I am removing my dip acrylics, I like to remove as much of the bulk as I can before I set my fingers down in acetone to soak the rest off. So I like to get them as thin as possible, so it doesn't take me a long time to soak the remainder off. And it is gliding like butter. I'm having no tugging, no pulling, no stopping of the Efile either. Everything is coming off really, really, really smoothly. I'm obsessed with the color of this Efile, so I probably will be using it a lot because I want to show it off. It is so pretty. If you decide to get yourself one, definitely use my link and my code down below to save yourself $20 off of this Efile. That is a great price for a quality Efile. This is my thickest nail, so we're really going to put that to the test. And it is still just cutting through it with no problems. No bogging of the Efile, which is fantastic. If you're using an Efile and it stops on you in the middle of trying to remove product, one, you either do not have your rotations per minute fast enough, or there is not enough torque in the handpiece to handle that. And if you get a lot of stopping on your nail plate, the Efile is just, it's not a good quality Efile. This one is proving to be amazing. You can see it has cut through that color so easily. And we have gotten the bulk and majority of that glitter removed. So I'm going to go ahead and soak my fingers in there, remove the rest of it, and we're going to move to the cuticle bit. Okay, so we are going to move along and we're going to use this nice bit right here to kind of prep all of our new growth and sidewalls. Try to remove any rough spots on the side of the fingers and get these ready. They are looking rough. This is what happens when you wait too long to give yourself a fill. You get cracks and splits and chips, so we're gonna fix these guys up. I always like to leave a little bit of room here just so I'm not jamming the bit down onto the lip of this. Okay, we're gonna turn this on. Now when I'm doing some cuticle work, I do not normally go above 6,000 RPMs. Let's see how close I can zoom in here for you guys without it being super blurry. There we go. All right. Oh wow, that is a really smooth bit. So I'm just gonna go around my nail plate and my cuticles, pulling back my sidewall here, and with very light pressure. This is just exfoliating all of the dead skin off of my nail plate, and it's going to very gently pretty much act like a 240 grit hand file, and just very, very softly etch up the nail plate and removing any leftover dead skin and debris. So I always pull my skin back, as you can see here. I'm definitely gonna have to see if they sell these strictly by themselves, because I'm gonna have to get more of these for sure. This is probably gonna be one of my favorite bits. Okay, so I do have a little bit of dry skin over here on my sidewall. I'm gonna take this and just slightly buff that away. Oh yeah. Yeah. Favorite bit, for sure. Okay. So that is how you would use that bit to do some of your cuticle work. So I'm going to use this cone bit here, and this is, sometimes I get really dry skin here and a lot of cuticle buildup, so I pull my skin back and I'm just going to run this into my sidewalls to really remove dead skin and cuticle. You can see that that worked really, really well. So from here, this is a really, really nice bit that you guys can remove all of the dead skin off of your cuticle. You can also exfoliate the sides of your fingers really well with it. So instead of using nippers, you can just easily buff away the cuticle. You definitely do not want to leave your bit in one place for too long, because you will burn yourself. But this is a great way to remove cuticle if you are not a fan of nippers or cuticle scissors. So, let's see if we can get the camera to focus. I've got a piece of skin sticking up right here on the side. We are going to exfoliate that away. And you just push and lift, push and lift, push and lift. So we are now exfoliated. We have a nice clean cuticle. So we are going to be fixing this nail so that it is all even. So that is how you use every one of your bits. This Efile is amazing, you guys. On the site, there is the Efile. It is made by Belle. It is $179.99. I will have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that you can click this button here to save yourself $10. And if you use my coupon code at checkout, you can $20 coupon at checkout. You should be able to get $30 off of this fantastic e-file. So I will leave all of the links down in the description box below where you can find this along with the discount code. So let's continue on with our manicure here. To fix some of these nails, I'm going to be super lazy. Usually I would just go ahead and build out my extensions, but I'm being really lazy, so I'm just going to use my nail tips here and then cut them down to match up the rest of my fingernails here. And these are not my favorite nail tips. I do like that they are thinner than normal nail tips are, but however, if you do press too much for too long, they will split down the middle, so that's really annoying. But we're gonna take my number 1 by Peppy Gel, and I'm just gonna apply a very thin coat there to the well of the nail, and I'm gonna place that down onto my fingernail. So when you are applying your tips, you want to make sure that all of the nail is adhered down and glued down, or else you're going to have problems with water getting trapped underneath the fingernail and causing a Pseudomonas disease. So you definitely don't want that nasty fungus. Okay. So I will be cutting this down all the way to about where my natural nail is, because I just need this little gap right here filled in. So I'm going to apply tips to this fingernail and possibly my thumb, because I did get a small chip here and I'm missing a corner piece. I do like to use my tip cutters, especially with these thinner ones, because if I was to use a fingernail clipper and cut it, it will split. It's just some weird business. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this all the way down to where my natural nail is. I'm actually going to leave a little bit of a gap there so I can shape my fingernail to my desired shape without accidentally taking too much length off, because if you take too much off, you can't put it back on with the tips. You're going to have to start all over again. So I'm going to go a little bit longer than where my natural nail is and shape it to my natural nail. So there we have it. I'm going to go ahead and shape all these. Probably cut this one down just a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to shape these up and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I have these where I like them. So the next step I'm going to do is just very gently file where the tip and my real nail meet, removing the shine, and also prepping that free edge right there, because when I go to dip, I don't want there to be like a little speed bump of product, because that's just more work for me in the long run to try to remove and fix. The more work I do now in prep work, the less you're gonna have to do afterwards. So we have a nice smooth transition here. You can't even tell where the tip and the nail meet. So if you were to rub your finger here, and if you could use your fingernail, if your fingernail stops and you still have a little bit of a hang there, you need to go ahead and file the rest of that to make sure it's nice and smooth. So I'm going to be doing that to both of these nails here. Making the transition from the natural nail to the tip nice and smooth. So more work now, less work later. My Peppy Gel clear, and dipping this nail, this one, and this one, all the ones that have tips on them, twice in clear, just to add some strength, because on my pinky and my ring finger here, when I do take my product off in the very beginning, I leave a thin layer of clear there from the get-go, so that I always have a protection layer on my nail, and then Again, it gives me a nice natural C-curve. So these two I'll only dip once, and then these with the tips, I need some extra strength, especially down at my free edge, so I will be dipping these twice. So I will be taking my number 1 and let's see if I can zoom in for you guys. Okay, so to get a really thin application, what I like to do is take my brush and get the majority of the product off on the inside of the neck here. So I have more of it here, like a bead of product there on one end. And I like to start right where the tip meets the free edge. Run all of that down where the majority of my product is so that I'm not flooding my cuticle. And then I will go in about 1/8 of an inch away from my cuticle, and I'm going to do this little bulldozer technique where I'm just kind of pushing the product like up into my cuticle line so I'm not flooding it. And then I get a really, really thin application. So now when I go to dip, I have a really clean cuticle line. I'm just going to repeat that process. So, little circular motions in my bottle here, removing the product from one side of the brush so that you have your bead of product here. I'm going to start in the middle of the nail, right above my free edge. Pull the majority and thickness of your resin down onto the free edge, and then about right here I'm going to do my little bulldozer method where I'm just kind of pushing that product up into the cuticle area without flooding it. If you were to start at the top of your nail up here, once you first remove your brush from the bottle, you're going to get a lot of flooding. So you can see here, really, really clean cuticle line. So if you were to start all the way up here, that's where a lot of your product is going to be. And you're probably going to end up flooding your cuticles. I actually have been doing this for so long, so I don't have a problem with doing it. But for beginners, it is really, really, it's helpful if you start down here, brush off the majority of your product down here, and then you're going to take your brush and just kind of push the product up into the cuticle line, and it just naturally gives you that clean cuticle line that you're looking for. I'm going to start down at the free edge, brushing the majority of my product off here first. And then again with my bulldozer technique, pushing the product up into my cuticle line and smoothing it all out. Dipping into my product. And again, I have a really nice, clean cuticle line. So another way that I like to keep my product really thin is by using a very stiff brush like this. This is just a scrub brush. You can find these in a pack of, I think, 10, like on Amazon, or you can buy them at your local beauty store. You should be able to find these very easily, or use a very stiff toothbrush. So I like to get in there. Once the product is dry, you need to make sure that this is completely dry and really scrub all of that excess loose powder off of my nail, because anything extra on there is also going to create a lot of bulk, and you definitely, I like to brush upwards this way so I'm getting the product out of my cuticle line. So I'm always brushing up towards my hand. So we have no extra product left. You can see how nicely those have been applied. There's no bulk to they're nice. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my second coat with these three that I do have a tip on, just because I need to add a little bit of extra strength because I don't have those layers that I do on these two fingers since I snapped all the rest off. So once again, I will be starting down at my tip. This is also going to give you a natural C curve as well if you start down here. Sometimes I have to go into my bottle for a second dip when I'm on my second layer, but then I will start right above where I last applied my product and then go in for my bulldozer method, where I am just bulldozing slash scooting that product up into my cuticle line without flooding it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in for my dip now. And you can see I have a really nice, clean cuticle. There's no product up here. If I was to pull my cuticle back, you can see that I have that nice, clean line there. So I'm not having to do any extra work on these. So once these have dried, you can tell, actually, this is a good example. If you have used too much of your base and your nails are getting super thick, and once you go to dip, and it is still, we're having a hard time focusing here. If your nail is still wet looking like that, you've used way too much base. So they should come out dry like this rather than super shiny. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip that finger one more time to soak up the rest of the powder. I got a little bit thick on this one too. So this is how they should look when they're coming out of your dip powder. I'm really good at spilling my product, so I like to close everything before I move on to the next step. So again, I'm not being very gentle at all, being slightly aggressive, and I am just removing all of that excess powder, getting it all off with my stiff brush before I move on to another layer of color. I don't want any extra bulkiness that I'm going to have to file down later. We have a really, really nice cuticle line. Nothing is flooded. So that is how I keep my product really, really thin. So we can still use, so whenever I do take my color off, I will basically come back down to this layer right here and I leave that on. So when I'm doing a brand new set, I usually will do 2 dips of clear. And then when I'm going to do fills, I'll only do 1 dip of clear. So you can see we've got a lot more thickness on this nail than we do over here. This is pretty flat. Pretty flat. Okay, so see we have got a really nice C curve going on there. That's because I already have my base built. So if you missed my last swatching video, I purchased these from Sensations of the Eye acrylic and dip powder, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I think that today's manicure I am going to use, I think I'm going to use this one right here. So pretty. All right, so for my glitters, again, I'm going to go back in with my number 1 from Peppy Gel. And I think I'm going to actually dip my ring and pinky in this glitter. Again, I like to go in with a really thin coat. So just like I did my clear coat, I will be applying that to the free edge first. And bulldozing the rest of the product up into my cuticle so I can get a nice, clean, circular line there. And I'm going to give this a good shank here. And then I'm going to just kind of lay my finger flat into the powder. So we get a nice full coverage here. And then I'm going to get a cuticle stick and kind of push these glitters around just a little bit. So I'm going to push some of these where I want them. And I do like to go around my cuticle a little bit just to remove any of those loose glitters that did not stick down. And give that a minute to dry. I'll dip my finger down into my container over here and mash those glitters flat. I'm dipping my finger over here into the powder so that the base is not sticking to my finger. And I'm able to really mash all my glitters down. So you don't want anything sticking up. You want to try to mash all of your glitters flat. You're going to give that a minute to dry, and then we're going to go back in with our stiff brush and we're going to brush the heck out of it to get all those extra loose glitters off that didn't want to stick down. So again, same method, starting towards my free edge here. Bulldozing the product up into my cuticle. So I get a clean, even line. Give this a little shake and a tap and lay my finger flat down in it. And I get a nice full coverage nail here. And then I'll take my little wooden stick, move and push some of these around that are sticking up. Clean off my cuticle line. See, this guy didn't want to stick at all. Dip my finger over here and start mashing my product down. Okay, so this finger over here should be nice and dry. So we're going to take our stiff brush. I mean, we're going to aggressively brush the mess out of this. We don't want anything sticking up. So if I do, like I do here, have a really nice coverage, I typically will not go in for a second coat of glitter. I do have a spot here that I need to fill, so I'll probably put just a little bit of base here and put a speck of glitter. But if I have a full coverage nail, then I'm not going to go in with my second coat because I don't want this to be extremely thick. Now I do have a piece of glitter kind of sticking off right here on the edge, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that so that when I file, we don't break that piece off and have, you know, the glitter's got silver in the middle of it, so we don't want it to look weird. Okay. So we have a nice coverage going on here. So I'm going to take my base, just kind of dab, dab, dab right here where I want to fill in any of those blank spaces. Put a few specks of glitter wherever you feel you need. And I am happy with that. This one should be dry, so we're going to scrub the mess out of it too. And again, we've got a really nice full coverage glitter nail here, so I do not need to go in with a second coat. And I am just fine with all of the glitter placements. So I'm going to go ahead and dip these two in clear. And I will be right back. So I've got these two dipped in clear. I'm going to go in with my number 2 and set them. And I'm going to go ahead and file and shape these before I move on to the others to make sure that I did get everything capped correctly so I don't have any weird spots missing, and if I do I can go back and fill those in. So we're going to let those set for 2 minutes, file and shape these, and then move along to some color. So I decided I'm going to go with a little abstracty look on here with the clear fingernail, so I went ahead and set that one too. So these are nice and dried. We're going to shape them, and then I will meet you right back. So to make my shaping really fast and easy, I'm going to be going in with my nice Belle Efile, you guys, and this lovely bit right here. Just to smooth it all out. Let me zoom out. Too close. So for something fun and abstracty, I'm going to be using these little water decals that I got off of Amazon. I think I'm going to be using this pattern right here. So you're going to cut this out, remove the plastic sheet, protective layer from it, and you will insert this into a little dish of water, and it will slide right off the backing. So for this look, I am going to be using some of the glitter here, and I'm just going to be placing it randomly on my nail. So I will take number 1, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply that over my entire nail. And then I'll be using this little cuticle stick here to pick up some glitters and just randomly place them onto my nail. This is one of my favorite things to do. It just looks really nice to me. I kind of like that clear translucent look. Really no rhyme or reason to where I'm placing anything. I'm just applying the glitters wherever I want. And then I will probably go in with some gold foil leaf and apply that as well. So I hope I was in frame for that. So here we go. There is that. And I will take my gold foil. I think I'm going to use this one. Actually, no. I'm going to use this one just because we've got that rose gold look in this glitter. This stuff you can get off of Amazon really, really cheap. And look at this container. It's going to last you like years. This stuff is very, very thin. So just place it wherever you like. My nail is still just a little bit tacky from that number 1. So it's going down with ease. Otherwise you could use like a little bit of a gel polish, cure it in your lamp, and use that tacky layer to stick your foil down with. So I'm pretty happy with the way that that looks. So I'll be applying my little decal right here on this blank side. So for my water decal, I have this little bitty jar here. This is actually called a dampen dish in the nail industry. So I'm going to be taking that, fill it up with just sink water. I'm taking my scissors here, and I'm going to cut that design off that I'm wanting to use. Be sure that before you dip your design into your water, that you have removed this plastic film here, or you're going to have a lot of trouble. Your decal will actually stick to this part, and then it will become unusable. So I'm going to just lay that into the water there. It just takes about a minute, maybe not even a minute, for it to slide off of the backing. We'll apply that to our nail. And I am just going to mash all these foils down while I'm waiting on that to make sure that they're laying nice and flat. Let's check on this. So you can see there how it has just slid right off the backing. So I'm going to take that decal there, or decal, whichever you like to call it. I'm going to place the majority of my flowers over here in the corner of my nail and have the little dots overlapping my design on this side. So there you have a cute little abstract looking easy nail art design. Okay, so I'm not even gonna lie. I typically will overlay my decals with gel, but we're gonna try number one and see. Hopefully it doesn't smear this right here or do anything funky. So I'm going to actually try to do this very quickly and float the product over my nail as much as possible without brushing it a lot, because if I brush it a lot, I'm afraid that it might melt or warp my water decal here. So I'm just kind of floating that product over the nail quickly, capping, and I'm going to dip. So I have now sealed in my design. So that part I normally would use gel polish with. So we are sealed in. I'm going to set that and then file and shape it. So while this one is now setting, see I have set it and nothing moved, nothing smeared. So for your future information, you can coat these with your base gel, or not your base gel, but your base, your dip base, without it having any issues. Okay, so it's really a toss-up between Runaway Train and Twisted Thoughts, but I think I'm gonna go with this deep purple. I don't know, you guys, I own so many colors, so I like to do, I'll do anywhere between 2 and 4 colors of manicure, but I think I'm gonna go with this deep purple. So again, with color, it's the same process to keeping my product really thin, starting towards the free edge. You do see me kind of wiggle my brush a lot. That's just because I'm trying to distribute all of the resin between the bristles evenly so that I can get a nice even coverage without a lot of bulk. Bulldozing my product up into the cuticle for that nice clean circular cuticle line. And we have a very clean cuticle line, you can see. I believe we are dry, so we are going to go in with our brush here. We're going to be aggressive. And we are going to get all of that excess product off. Okay, we're going to go in with our second coat. Now you can really see where I'm applying it and how I'm applying it. So I do start off lower, and then I'm going to bulldoze the product up into my cuticle line. This time I'm going to try to turn my brush sideways and get really, really close. And then I will also cap these in clear. Aggressively brushing that off, because I also don't want to contaminate my clear when I go to clear cap everything. So I'm now going to go in with my clear. We're done. I will set that file. There you have it. There is my completed nail design look. I think the Peppy Gel liquids work just fine. The shine on them, can you guys see that? Yeah, so I have not top coated this one yet. I'm going to show you how I top coat. I don't know if any of you have experienced any like wrinkling or divots, or you're just not getting this much shine in your manicures. You're possibly top coating incorrectly, or the way that I used to top coat. So I'm going to show you guys how I do my top coat real quick. So with the Peppy Gel, I don't know if this is with all of the liquids or not. I did change this. I think in the clip you might see that this is a solid purple nail just like this one, but I decided to go ahead and change it. I wanted more glitter because your girl likes glitter. Okay, so with the number 3, again, just like I do the number 1, I'm going to kind of ring this around, brush most of it off onto one side of the brush. And then you want to not overlap any of your layers. And you want to try to do that in one coat. I hope you guys saw that. I wasn't sure if I'm in frame or not. Wipe that off. And then you're going to, hopefully I can get the camera to pick this up. You're going to want to wait. Like, it's starting to turn matte and it's not super glossy or wet. But as soon as it starts turning matte, go ahead and slap another thick layer right on that. I mean, you do not, I mean, it's like seconds. It's gonna start turning a matte color, matte, like wrinkly look. That's when you want to go ahead and add that really thick, but not like too thick, layer on there, so you can see, look at the shine that I get. You know, it looks like glass, especially when this is if you guys have followed me for any length of time, you know that this is becoming my favorite nail art look. I love to have that like glass looking nail where you've got a little bit of color on one side and glitter, and then a completely blank side where you put your nail art at. So there it is, nice and shiny. So when I am top coating, I'll top coat this one, and then I'll go back and top coat this one and this one, and then I'll do this one and this one, go back to this one and then this one. So I don't do all 5 or 10 fingers and then go back, because then the top coat just does not get super shiny like this. I again don't know if that's with all dip liquids or not, but with Peppy Gel, that's what I found works the best. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review video of this wonderful, fantastic Belle Efile. Again, I'll leave all the links down below. Hope you enjoyed my nail design and working with me. Hope you enjoyed the little chit chat video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. If you have not yet, follow me over on Instagram. I am much more active over there than I am here on YouTube, and I post a lot more nail photos. So until next time, see you later, guys.